My name is Vincent Woods. I'm a director, writer and also actor, but predominantly director, writer of feature films. Well, I've just literally finished the colour grade on a music video called A Christmas Wish by the amazingly talented Beverly Knight, who you might know as a well-known pop singer, but also in the West End. She performed regularly in the West End, including Bodyguard and Cats, but also I think she's starting a new stage play musical next year. So it's lovely to work with her. We filmed that in the Noel Coward Theatre. And I'm currently working on the schedule and the casting for Sir Kenny with the amazing Malcolm Benson at Benelux Media. Well, I focus really just, I don't produce anymore. I think it's just, I'm a creative soul right down to the core because I did fine art degree, so I'm an artist originally. So the creative process is something that I just love every aspect of, and whether that's the script, whether that's through to the all the processes involved in directing, choosing locations, casting, getting great performances out of the actors, understanding what kind of story we're trying to tell. I think acting has helped me on that journey and that learning process as a director, and so that certainly is very complementary. So that's why I've ditched the producing stuff a few years ago and concentrated on what is my core skill set, which is directing. Well, I think you've got to be slightly risky. You've got to put stories out there that is not going to get done by the mainstream studios. And so indie films, you've got to have a good team. You've got to have a great team ethos. You've got to have a like-minded set of individuals that know where that goal is going. And we need to achieve that. It's amazingly hard work. People see all the glamorous side and the premieres and the publicity and think, oh, you know, you're so lucky to do that. But all the people I know in indie film, certainly and all the people I've worked with in London, including the guys I'm working with now, work incredibly hard, huge amount of hours with often very little money involved because they love what they do. And so having that team spirit, that common goal, that enthusiasm and commitment is really important to indie films. And then you're going to have a good chance of producing something which is going to lighten up people's life, tell a really impactful story. And people will always appreciate those filmmakers that go out there and push the boundaries, make something with passion, with soul, with heart. People respect that, and that's what is important with indie film. People need to develop their experience as people know about me as well. Even though I've directed a lot of short form content for big names, for Procter & Gamble, Nike, done big audiovisual events, big budgets, when I moved into feature films, I wanted to learn. And so doing short films and other formats that lead up to feature films was very important to me. But also, I was prepared also to do first AD work, first assistant director work, so that I could learn off other directors and also understand about scheduling, because I'm quite a good organizer. And so all these processes help. So people then, especially haven't lacking experiences, go out there and help and assist other people. If you know, especially people that you respect and like, work with them and do some work if you can, possibly. I know it's difficult times to do work experience, but you know, people always will pay enthusiastic, committed people that get the job done. And so building up their experience is very important, and then they can start building their own little mini networks to create a little team, as we talked about earlier. A really positive, committed, enthusiastic team with a good story to tell can get together and make something really cool. Obviously in financing, people get around it because somebody's got a camera, somebody's got sound equipment, somebody can act, somebody's got a great script, so they can get together and they can make something with, you know, a few £100, even less. And I know people have done that, and it could be a short film. They do crowdfunding as well. So people build up this experience, and you know, there's no egos in there. I think the egos only appear, I think, when people get, you know, fame or a good fortune, if you like, early in their career, and all of a sudden they think everything's easy. And we, you know, we've all met those people where it kind of it's not quite working, and so you need to, you know, always have that humbleness, that enthusiasm to learn, no matter how experienced you are. And so it's from one end of the spectrum to the other. Always keep that learning process, enthusiasm and commitment, and you'll have a, you know, you've got a good chance of making some really good films.
You're going to find out exactly what you've come home to. You've not only opened up a section house, you've opened up a sack full of poisonous snakes. I think you're going to need this.
Initial hurdles, certainly on feature films, is getting financed, and that is quite challenging. And so you can spend years, which I've done, hunting around for finance. I mean, I got lucky with my first film, feature film, but then you know, you need a big hit on the first feature film. But it's, you know, it can be challenging getting the finance in place. I've been very lucky to, since I moved to London, to network and bring a whole bunch of people into my life that, support and see that I've got a skill set that they appreciate and understand and want to support and utilise. And so now I'm working with producers from Pink Flamingo Films that I've got a raft of feature films that they're looking for me to direct. Working with people when I did first AD work with Benelux Media as well. And we did Return of the Dawn, which I also acted in as well, which was tremendously good fun. And we really got something really fun out of it. And I think we won quite a few awards as well. And so you build up the people that really committed on projects like that. And I've worked on a few other films as well where I did assisting directing work and also co-directing work. So I've just worked with an up-and-coming director, writer, producer who's done a TV pilot, action TV pilot, never produced anything drama-wise before. And so, yeah, there is challenges, but, you know, people are willing to learn, I think, then you can get something good. And so there's all these people that have got this energy and drive to bring something new to the screen, then it's nice to be involved with that, even if it's just, you know, one-off. But you're always building networks and building, you know, new people, bring in people that you trust. So I've got a great sound man that I like to bring on board, and then, you know, building up contacts in the in the camera department as well as production design. Got some great production designers and art department people that have, you know, been in London a short space of time. The great thing about London is it attracts a lot of people from overseas as well, and that's quite dynamic. It's quite enlightening and creative process to have all these different diverse backgrounds and people from all sorts of countries and places and ethnicities, which creates a really energetic, fun, exciting, vibrant place to work and live, which is London, which I love about London because I'm not from London, as you might tell from my accent. My main area of specialism is directing. So I was directing short formats for big corporates from Procter & Gamble and Nike at an early age, from my early 20s, straight out of university. And I produced my own showreel when I was doing fine art. So I did animation, directed and wrote little animation stories and live action as well. So I had a nice little showreel when I left university. And that enabled me to get a few job offers, and I worked with an agency doing that, though I wanted to work with a TV company. So I kind of got sidetracked into the corporate and commercial world, which is not a bad thing, because it's a good discipline. And so that was a process where I learned a lot, but there's only so much you can do after a few years, and you kind of wanting to move on to new things. So it was a big transition for me to try and get back into proper drama film, because that's what I wanted to do. Hi. Is everything okay?
Yeah, Monroe's taste in fashion nearly cost him his life, but we're good.
What?
She's joking, Dad, for fuck's sake.
Hey.
No!
Do you know where I am going next?
Why would I care?
You do know where I'm going.
Yeah. I do know where you're going.
All right.
But Ashley's not there. So what are you going up there for?
Looking good?
You really think so? Thanks. You know, I used to have it like this when I wasn't much older than you. Worried my hair wasn't quite as thick as it used to be. But that's genuinely very reassuring. Your mother used to like it when I put this horrible greasy gunk in my hair from the chemist.
Calm down!
You don't know what you've done!
Come on! Come on! Just relax!
Relax! Relax!
Listen to your friend, Dana, unless you want to spend another night in the
Oh,
cell.
you can't just walk into people's houses without a search warrant!
Oh, like one of these? Yeah? Here.
You know, you never really stop thinking about your patients, even when you're not on the ward. Having the PSE has really revolutionised the way I evaluate my patients' health. I get real-time data of vital signs, and the data, well, it's continuous. I can access it on my laptop or any device I have to hand.
Hey, should we take a picture?
Okay.
Okay, that's brilliant, yeah. One more. Yeah, good job. Okay, right, well, I'll be out here. I imagine it'll be a while before it's all loaded up, so take your time.
Okay.
And I'll promise to give you a lift back to your place whenever.
Hey.
Onwards and upwards. Acting is a great leveler, and that is. I mean, I acted when I was little and did a lot of acting. I did performance work when I did fine art as well. I loved performing, and I did some commercials as well, even bits and bobs in between the directing and producing the corporate and commercial stuff. And then I stopped for quite a bit. I did events for about 10 years. I was still trying to tickle along, getting the scripts and developing some of the feature film projects and developing my network. And then when I came to London in 2013, I met a few people that inspired me. Jo Ball, actually, who is an actress who I starred in a Virgin Atlantic commercial with. We just actually bumped into each other again after a few years, and she was inspired me. She was a marketing manager, worked in marketing, and decided to start acting again. And I thought, well, if she can do it, and I've got a lot of acting experience, I thought I'm going to get back into it. So acting was a great opportunity for me, and I was absolutely amazed. I got an agent straight away. I got some headshots done and got work straight away on Mandy, or as it was called something else before.
Film and TV Pro.
Yeah. And so I got work straight away. I couldn't believe it. And so I played a down and out detective within a month of me being up on the site. And then I started, I got a role with in Return of the Dawn as well, not far from that time. So I was getting a lot of roles, and maybe I just got lucky, I don't know. But you know, my auditions, I knew what to look for because I could self-direct. A lot of them were self-tapes as well. And in 2014, people weren't that experienced at doing self-tapes. Now everyone's pretty good at it. I'm trying to catch up with the way everybody's doing it. So yeah, acting was great because you can go into there and people, I read a lot about it and already knew quite a bit, go into audition, you know, and as soon as you walk out the door, forget about it, okay? If you get it, great, the phone will ring, don't worry about it. And I mean, there is some big roles that you go for and you go, oh, I never heard back, and you think about it, but you learn pretty quickly, especially with commercials. You're in and out, there's a big queue outside in the reception, you're in and out. And sometimes you go, oh, that was a nightmare. What did they want? I don't know what they were looking for. I did a couple of lines and you're out. So you kind of learn rejection pretty quick because you know sometimes it's just not happening. They're looking for somebody else, fatter, thinner, different hairstyle, a different look, whatever it is. Or you just didn't click with them on the day. And so that's a really good discipline. Acting and performing and presenting is exciting, it's challenging, it's a lot more challenging than people realise. Standing and sitting in front of a camera with lines to learn and going into that world. I think artists, maybe, or people with an artistic ability, have that ability to create a world around them quite quickly. So I'm not a super method actor, but I will get in that moment, and I can do it quite quickly because I just literally everything will disappear around me, and I create this world that we're enacting, and I'm in it. I'm totally in it. I've got one of those hypervisual minds that enables me to do that. So it's really exciting. So in answer to how do you suffer rejection, acting sorted me out pretty quickly. You know, we've all been impacted on the COVID situation. But filming is taking place. People are putting in procedures in place, you know, daily temperature checks, regular checks. Some of the big studios are doing every 2 or 3 days COVID-19 tests on the cast and crew. So it's pretty thorough, but I certainly know if people are disciplined and they don't go out partying, because you won't have time anyway. If you're working that hard on a film production, you haven't got time to go and socialise with other people you shouldn't be socialising with. And so I think, yes, there's challenges. I think it's just being sensible about things and using common sense, you know, wash your hands and wear masks where appropriate. And yeah, keep the social distance. These are helpful guidelines. I think London in particular is a bit, I know there's lots of filming places around the UK, there's a lot of filming going on in Liverpool. Batman's been filming there, which is a hot spot, and they've been filming during the lockdown because they're allowed to, it's allowed to still work. So there is processes in place that will enable us to film and carry on, which is a process that is going to last for many years because that will be, it's a sensible approach because there's a lot of productions that have had other illnesses spread throughout the crew because of lack of hygiene, lack of care and attention and these things. I know that, you know, some of the gastroenteritis type bugs and stuff like that have shut down sets. So it's not uncommon. This is, you know, stuff that's happened before, and you don't want flu to go round as well, just a basic flu go round a crew. So all these things, you know, have been highlighted with the COVID-19 case or situation. So yeah, it's probably a good discipline, a good wake-up call for us to be a bit more sensible. Sometimes I felt, oh my, I'm getting on a bit. I've seen these 20-year-old directors, and they've done the amazing stuff already, and it's great to see that. And if I'd have done that and not done corporate and commercial work, I don't know. I think the stories that I want to tell are totally different now, with the life that I've had, with the ups and downs, the challenges, because I've had some pretty low points in my life. And you have a different story to tell, a different angle and a different way of looking at the world. I think if I'd have put all my effort into dedicating my life to just directing and writing and acting in an early age and putting everything else aside, I would have probably had a different take. And my viewpoint is that I would have been a very different person. I'm not sure I'd have been a better person. So this is where I've come to in my life, and I love every minute of it. I love the fact that, I've got all these opportunities coming into my life. I've got the experience and the knowledge and the right mindset to tackle on huge challenges and do it in a really positive way. People talk to me and say, you're really positive, and a lot of people think, oh, he's just ridden along on a lovely wave of good luck and good fortune. But when you know that a lot of people around you have had really challenging times in their life, and most people have, that defines people. And it's when you cope with those ups and downs in life and come through it, that's it's a really interesting and enlightening moment in people's lives. So yeah, that's the kind of stories I like to tell, where people do battle through incredibly difficult times, whether that's health, financial, family, friends, situations that they've overcome, very challenging situations, and how they've come through it is, that's what I'd like to be involved in telling. There is no single effective pathway. Everyone's got certain, you get a lot of people that have, they've done well at film school, they've got a couple of short films that won a few awards, have gone on to be sponsored by the BFI, they've won more awards, and then, they do a feature film, and it's terrible. But then you get some come through and they do great, and they're on the path already. So it's great, but that's tiny proportion of filmmakers. That's it's tiny. Other ones, they good at acting, and then they get into understanding the writing and directing. So a lot of actors we know, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they've written Good Will Hunting, and they produced quite early on in their life, and they were actors that had just had a good script. So if you're a good actor and want to get into directing, right, you could have the easiest or the most effective way for an actor to get into the other side of the camera, behind the camera, is to write good scripts, and that takes time. Find good people that that want to help and support you. So I've got a couple of acting friends, and they send me scripts, so I read them and give them some notes back if I'm not too busy. So sorry about that, guys, but I will get around to it. So acting, if you want to get on the other side of the camera, do that. But I know actors as well that do art department, do a bit of second AD or third AD work, and that's good discipline as well, because they know what the actors are going through and they help them and understand that. So I've done that, encourage people to do that. I think if you're passionate about directing, you're still going to have to go through and try and understand what makes a good script. Because there's no point in just directing and you don't understand the process of creating a good script and what to look out for and structure and what kind of story you need to tell. There's no way around it, and you've got to read a lot of scripts and read good quality scripts. They're all online as well. If you find a really good film, download the script, see how it works. Obviously that'll be the final shooting script, or the script that was up on screen sometimes. There's sometimes you can get the original script. But that's an interesting process as well, and see how that written page comes up on the screen. So yeah, just keep learning, keep working with other people. Don't be arrogant and don't be too cocky about things, because people don't like that in the film world. It's just not pleasant, and I think you just got to be keen and eager, and just keep willing to learn. Just don't pretend you know it all, because nobody knows it all. I think I would love to put out big names, but I've never met them. The people that inspire me the most are the people that I just get on with it and do it and make it happen. And that's since I moved to London, that's the kind of people that I've just found it a real home. Because I've moved around so much, I think people that are kind of gypsies like me, when they end up in London, you feel quite at home. And a lot of people have, not from here, and it's just really nice and being inspiring to have people that have started acting at 40 years old that have never acted before, that filmmakers that are trying to get into acting, into directing and writing and working and developing projects and stories. And the Derek Jarman Award winner from 2014, I think it was, he was nearly 60 years old, and he thought his time was over. And so Film London, they awarded the Derek Jarman Award to him. And so that's, there's always, don't think as well that those, if your time is up, don't worry about time, just, stay healthy, stay fit, stay focused. And that's what I've learned, is that no matter what kind of stage you are in your life and what ups and downs you've had, you still got a goal. And, I look at some of the painters as well, some, quite famous painters, some of them only painted for 10 years. Van Gogh, I think even less than that. And you think, well, and he produced so much work. And there's a lot of other famous artists that developed their careers late on. Some started their careers very young. And so don't worry about time. Don't worry about the age barriers. Don't worry about your background, but try and find and be enthusiastic and committed to work with people that are around you, because there is people around you that, and look out for the websites. It's all online. That's the great thing about the environment we live in now. Use the internet. It's, it is a good thing in many ways. There's created a lot of issues lately, especially with big business and so on, trying to control everything, but you've still got an opportunity to find out who's working around the corner, and go and meet them, go and talk to them and see if you can help and support them. And I've always try and encourage people to, get work experience with us, and I've helped quite a few people over the years, because people have helped me. And so that's how you can try and get into it and get a leg up and use those contacts and just show commitment. I suppose just make stuff, because people are shooting stuff on the phones and and put editing stuff together. You can shoot on your iPhone. If you've got a Mac, you can shoot it on iMovie, edited it on iMovie. And so there is processes. You don't have to show it to the world, but at least show it to, friends and family, so that you can understand what reaction there are to the stories that you want to tell. And so these are the little processes we can go through to understand basic filmmaking. And so, I didn't have that opportunity to edit when I was, a teenager, but, we could shoot stuff, we could kind of understand. So that's why animation was good to me, because editing was, always a challenge. We didn't have digital editing in the 80s. And it was, we had to get animation onto video, and then we could cut on video, and it's usually just two machines, so it was just cut, you couldn't mix. So it was very basic, but now you can do it, you can edit on your phone. So just learn that process of storytelling. I also, I don't watch a lot of TV, I just don't got the time, and I watch quite a few films, but at least on a lot of the content you can find it online, but also Sky Arts, people like that, they cover lots of directors and, learn about them. I can never remember the names. I can always remember the work, but I can never remember the names. Like, can you remember that director? I go, yeah, no, but this, that film, and it's like, so that's unfortunately my failing. I'm still trying to get my brain to gear into overcoming the little bit of dyslexia I had at an early age. So. But yeah, you just keep at it. There's loads of avenues to explore. So young filmmakers, and get on board, work with the bigger crews. Just try and get and say, I'll assist, I'll do a runner. I know guys that have been running since they were 16, doing run-ins on set. And now you ring them up, they're 18, 20, and they're going, yeah, no, I'm third AD. All right, yeah, great, come in. We know you already got the right attitude. Come in. So, they've already got a job. They've already got, 20 years old, and they're, barely started university. They've already got 5 or 6 credits on IMDb. So, can be done, definitely.